What's up, assholes? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kiva. It's been a little bit, a hot minute. Not quite as long as I usually take between videos, but still a decent gap. And I'm gonna do my August wrap up. So buckle the fuck up, I guess. Oh. The first book I read this month was City of Bones, the first in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This was really something else. Truly a throwback. Peak teen YA trash. And I mean trash in the fondest of ways. Anyway, this book was published in like 2007, so it was like before the tropes were truly repetitive tropes, but it's still so fun to go back and read because they're so like obvious now, or so overused now, and it was just a lot of fun. I know that 14-year-old me would have been in love with this book. I did see the movie. I have to say the book is better. Maybe I'll go through and find. I only read 3 books this month, so I'm really going to take my time with these. So most of this stuff is just fun to me. Like, the other boy grinned all over his face. How do you do that? How do you grin all over your face? It's very fun. Oh, here's a fun bit. We love when the protagonist has low self-esteem. She knew she wasn't beautiful like her mother was. To be beautiful, you had to be willowy and tall. When you were as short as Clary was, just over 5 feet, you were cute. Not pretty or beautiful, but cute. Throw in carroty hair and a face full of freckles, and she was a Raggedy Ann to her mother's Barbie doll. I don't even know what to say about that. It's what a message. What a message to send to our young female readers. We love that. We love that. And like, oh my gosh, all the books around this time were different. Like, all the main characters, if you've read YA, you know, all the main characters are gorgeous, but they think they're ugly because they're not like other girls. So, oh my gosh, I haven't even described the plot. So, there's this girl, Clary, and she's raised by her single mom, and she's all like, how do I even explain this book? Everything is so insane. Oh, it's Alfie. Hold on. Is there a description on the back of this book? Oh, I'm just gonna read this. Clary Frey is seeing things, vampires in Brooklyn and werewolves in Manhattan. Irresistibly drawn towards a group of sexy demon hunters, Clary encounters the dark side of New York and the dangers of forbidden love. Forbidden love, really a key word in here. I'm not going to spoil anything, but even though I'd seen the movie, still a wild ride. Truly the most unpleasant plot twist of all time, and I have to give credit to Cassandra Clare for that one. It really is the worst thing ever to read, in like a very fun way. Likes and dislikes. Obviously there's a lot of self-esteem issues and a lot of girl hate. The only other girl in this book is Isabella, and she's supposed to be like the sexy one, you know, like the slutty one or whatever, and she wears like mini skirts and stuff. And Simon, Simpin' Simon, is like into her, really into that, and she has and so she's all like, oh my god, I hate her for being so beautiful, what a bitch. And she always talks about how Isabel's such a bitch, even though she literally does nothing wrong. But I did actually, the love interest is Jace. He's a shadow hunter, and I did appreciate the banter between them. I did think it was well done, and it was cute and flirtatious. A lot of time banter can be really cringy and feel forced, but it was quite smooth, which I appreciated. Alex, he's Jace's kind of like brother, you know, like Jace lived with them for a while when they were growing up, and Alex is deep in the closet at this point, and I don't know, he's just like, he's kind of a dick, but a dick in a way that's like, yeah. I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil anything, and I'm not doing a good job, but honestly, Alex. And Magnus. What an extravagant man. Oh, I found a little spicy bit of girl on girl hate. To Clary's surprise, Simon said nothing to this. He was too busy staring at Isabel, rapt and open-mouthed. Isabel was exactly Simon's type. Tall, glamorous, and beautiful. Come to think of it, maybe that was everyone's type, not true? Clary stopped wondering about the peanut fish olive tomato soup. And started wondering what would happen if she dumped the contents of the pot on Isabel's head. Come on. That's so ruthless. Wanting to drown this girl in soup just because she's pretty? We don't need that. We don't need that hate. Let girls be friends with other girls. Come on. It was a girl's voice, Isabel. She flicked on the light next to the bed and regarded Clary resentfully, rubbing at her scalp. She seemed to shimmer in the lamplight. She was wearing a long silvery skirt and a sequin top, and her nails were painted like glittering coins. Honestly, what a beautiful description. Love her. Strands of silver beads were caught in her dark hair. She looked like a goddess. Clary hated her. Come on. She looks wonderful. Honestly, just fall in love. Sorry. This is just... Sorry, this bit's just funny to me. It's nothing to do with anything, but... Alec made a choking noise. After a moment, Claire recognized it as laughter. He ought to do that more often. How does it take you a moment to realize that someone's laughing? Like... it was like... Oh my god. Clary wondered if there were any ugly vampires. Or maybe any fat ones. Maybe they didn't make vampires out of ugly people. Or maybe ugly people just didn't want to live forever. Oh my god. Shade? Jesus Christ. Lay off ugly people. Let us be. Oh my god. Maybe ugly people just want to die. Jesus, Clary, chill. Let people be pretty, let people be ugly, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. No, that would be a spoiler, but at one point, our girl Clary really throws some horrible shade at Alec, and she doesn't really apologize at the end. Alec apologizes to her for being mean, and he was a little shady, but honestly, the monologue she brings at one point is uncalled for. We do not make fun of people in the closet. We do not do that. There's also this bit. What freaks out Jewish vampires? Silver Stars of David, chopped liver, checks for $18? Simon, I don't know about that one. I really don't know about that one, Simon. It's a bit of a yikes. This is the worst book review of all time, but I mean, I'm just saying, I got a lot of feelings. I love and hate this book, and I also don't give a shit about it. And also give a lot of shits. It's very confusing. There's this one point where Clary has to get changed, right? And she has to put on Isabel's clothes, and Jace really comes up with are those Isabel's clothes? They look ridiculous on you. Cold as ice, drag her, yes. It's so mean and it makes me laugh every time. What a little asshole. Hold up. There's one bit though that Jace said, I'm not like other guys. He really came out here and just straight up said it. Thank you, Cassandra Clare. Anyway, so talking about this book for 25 minutes and it's all been nonsensical and I really think I did it justice. And he gave this to me. It's one of her favourite books and I'm scared to say anything bad about it, but at the same time I will, and I did, and I have no regrets. But I do want to read the rest of the series. I'm excited to see how Alec and Magnus go. And also I'm excited to see how Cassandra's writing evolves. As I said, this was from 2007. And books really were just different back then. Like, girl on girl hate and all those kind of cliche tropes were like, that was peak time. And honestly, I read and loved books with these tropes in there. So I'm sure as her writing evolves and the years go on, she'll get, I don't want to say more woke, but I just want to say maybe people will start respecting women, at least women, at least I hope so, because, just respect women. Next book, What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. As you can see, I didn't mark it at all. It's because I finished this book in like 2 days and it really just kind of sucked. Obviously, writing a book is not fucking easy, and just to shit on someone's efforts and, you know, the passion that people can pour into their books, I don't do that lightly. I mean, I do. But also, I mean, like, I'm not coming for the author or anything, or saying, like, this is so easy and why did they do a shit job? I'm just like, sometimes I read a book and I think it's shit, and that's just my opinion. And my opinion doesn't matter at all. I just happen to post it online because I don't got a lot going on. Basically, it follows a kid called Arthur, and he's in New York. He's in New York for the summer, working as a temp for his mum's law firm. And at the post office, he meets this boy called Ben, and they have a little something. It's a little awkward, a little flirty. They both figure out that each other is gay, and it's kind of like it's a meet cute, except they don't get each other's numbers. I'm gonna put this book down. Yes, Ben and Arthur have this meet cute, and they don't get each other's numbers. But there are a series of events that end up together, and it kind of follows them finding each other, going on dates, facing various obstacles, both emotional and like in their day-to-day lives, because obviously Arthur's only there for the summer and that kind of thing. Why I don't like this book? Okay, so the first off, Arthur's kind of fucking creepy. A lot of my issues are with Arthur. Arthur's kind of fucking creepy, so the way he finds Ben is it's like through all these weird stalky events. Ben wrote down like the delivery address with his information, his ex-boyfriend's information on it, but he didn't send the package because it turned out to be too expensive. So he like ripped off the delivery information and chucked it in the bin, but he missed. It was on the ground, so Arthur like picked it up. It was just like this whole thing. The way that he found out who Ben was, like the way that he tracked down Ben because they didn't have each other's like names or numbers, was really fucking creepy. And they like mention that a little bit in the book, but kind of brush over it. Also, I just think their relationship was toxic. They don't have a lot in common. One of them is always angry. They don't actually seem to have a lot of fun. Arthur often is brash, jumps to illogical conclusions, is emotionally manipulative, and I feel like they're just dating because they feel like they have to, and then they kind of abruptly fall in love. I'm like, why? I don't really have a problem with insta love, but I like when like you fall in love with someone because of their looks, and then you get to know them, and then you fall in love with who they are on the inside. But it just kind of felt like they never got past that first impression. And Arthur was all like clingy and like weirdly obsessive and kept talking about getting jealous over Ben's ex-boyfriend, and they'd only been on like 2 dates. I was like, chill out. And Ben was just kind of like, Puerto Rican, but I guess you could say that he passes as white. I don't know why I put white in quotations. Anyway, and Arthur's like, oh, they're eating churros, and Arthur's like, I've never had a churro before. He's like, doesn't even know what they are, because he's, I don't know, lived under a rock or some shit. And Ben's just like, yeah, churros are great, just like anyone would fucking say churros are great. And Arthur's like, I forget that you're Puerto Rican until we do stuff like this, which is just, I forget that you're Puerto Rican when we do stuff like this because you're so white. And it's just like, yikes, what the fuck? And Ben's like, yikes, hey, don't do that. And Ben's like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but he obviously like doesn't give a shit that he said something racist. He just like is sad that he made Ben sad, which isn't the fucking problem, but I guess we can just leave it at that because that's what they do, never addressed again. I guess that's fine. They talk about the Obamas a lot, just weird. Has a lot of pop culture references that are like intimate for some reason. It's very odd. I don't know, it's toxic. And maybe I guess I'm just too old for that shit. Would not recommend. If you're in a relationship like that, maybe reassess, because it's not okay. Okay, that's that book. Ooh, what a good explanation. Best wrap up ever. The last book I read was In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. This was really good. This is a North Korean girl's journey to freedom. It's obviously an autobiography. I think it's really brave to be so emotionally vulnerable. Not only does she talk about her past, which was scary for her, opening up about how terrible North Korea can really be, but also she was really open about her emotional state and her thoughts in that time. And I just think that's crazy. That's such a, I don't know, there's something that I would not be able to do, to be so open about my emotional state. And I don't know, I think she articulates it really well in a way that's easy to understand. This book, I went to look at the 1-star reviews on Goodreads, and a lot of people were saying, oh, she's faking it. One guy was just like, this is boring. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that she was making all of it up. And to them I'd like to say, fuck you. That's it. I just think it's a messed up thing to claim. She also has a YouTube channel with her friend Evelyn, and she has her own personal YouTube channel, and I will link them down below because they're fun to watch and it's also informative. I don't know, I think she creates nice content. I think she's been open and bold enough to share her past and her feelings, and I think we should support people like that, and we should boost people up like her up, you know? People like her really be out here trying to change the world, and I think we should support that in any way we can. She also has speeches that she's made about North Korea. If instead of reading a whole book, you would like to instead watch a video of her speaking about it, I'll also link that below too. And that's all the books I read. I talked about the Rosie Project with Graeme Simsion in my last wrap up, and I said that there were things that I disliked about it, but I don't know if I said I would recommend it, but I said I would read the second one. And I want to say that I watched a video recently by Jessica Kalgren-Fozard titled Autism Tropes in the Media. I'm going to link that video below, which features fellow YouTubers Annie Eleni and Miffed Luke. And Don fits a fair few of the negative tropes, and a lot of people have interpreted Don's character to be on the autism spectrum, and I believe that in the later books Graeme Simsion either confirms this or delves deeper into this concept. And a lot of the people feel that Don is supposed to be laughed at, and that makes me uncomfortable, and I would hate to encourage or promote a book that creates, emphasizes, or contributes to a negative stereotype of autistic people or people with autism. I don't want to dismiss the book or Don's character entirely, because there were parts of him that I related to, and it wasn't like he was portrayed as an emotionless robot, but I also wanted to just draw attention to the fact that it could be harmful. So I'm going to link her video below. Also, side note, if you're looking for other content to educate yourself, I would recommend This Land. This Land is a podcast. This Land traces how a cut and dry homicide opened up an investigation into the treaty rights of 5 Native American tribes. It's available on Apple Podcasts. I listened to it. It was really interesting and informative and well done, and the journalist that runs it is part of the Cherokee Nation. And she's got a voice that's really easy to listen to, and I don't know, if you want to learn more about that or check that out, you can. I'm pretty sure the case is still going. I haven't looked at the updates lately. I probably should, but anyway. And also there's the Nice White Parents podcast. I'm going to link that below too, which basically just talks about how nice white parents disrupt or influence American schools, either whether intentional or they realize it or not. And I just think that it was a really important and interesting take, and even though I'm not in America, I don't know, I like to learn, so I would recommend checking that out too. As always, I'll be leaving places that you can donate to, or just helpful links that you can check out to get, I don't know, to learn, for funsies, I don't know. Down below. If you think I've missed anything or should mention anything, please check it out. Sorry it took it so fast, I'm worried my phone's gonna die. My Goodreads will be linked below if you want to see what I'm reading at the moment, though I've been very slow this month. This is probably the worst video I've ever made, but also it was a kind of a fun time, and it's a Wednesday evening, so can you blame me? I don't think so. Okay, bye!